What are our brains designed to do, sort of on an evolutionary level? What have they learned to do? They've learned to pull in a bunch of data, construct a story around it that we believe is true based on the facts that we know, and then to sort of plant ourselves with that story so that we can, move forward in confidence. But here the question is, how can we develop more flexibility in our thinking? So there's a concept here that has been helpful for me because if you know me, you know I'm stubborn. It can be real hard to change my mind. And I think about this concept, this idea of flexibility in thinking. And a conversation I had some years back really helped me with this. And I come back to this idea over and over that we have truth and then we have facts. And truth is really, really tricky because, again, our brains are designed to construct stories for us based on the facts available, based on the data that we have. And we then believe that to be truth. But truth is, though, that means truth is a story. My truth is a story my brain has created, how it pulls the facts together that we might share. Facts they're static, they simply exist. So a fact is, the sky is blue, for example. But what color blue? What shade blue? Well, that's a story based on the data available to us. We all see color differently. We might construct different stories about the color of the sky and why it is that way. Facts are the finite pieces about, like, oh, this chemical does this and that chemical does that. But our eyes, the rods and cones in our eyes, are going to perceive those things differently. So we're all going to come to a different truth about it because it's the story our brain has constructed about the fact that we all share. Similarly, when we're looking to cultivate flexibility in our thinking, whether it's in my relationship, say I'm having I'm butting heads with someone that I care about, and they have their truth, their idea and story about what's happening, and I have my truth and my idea. If we can understand and really cultivate the patience to understand that our brains, based on our lived experiences and based on the lived experiences of our ancestors as well, has created predispositions to a type of way of thinking and perceiving for each of us as individuals inside this great collective experience. So if we can acknowledge that we each have all of these factors working on us in the way that we interpret these different sets of facts in order to tell a story, then it can actually open up a little bit of curiosity about this. Why are you constructing this story in this particular way? Why am I? Is there space for us to co-create together, to find more flexibility, allowing our story to shift? Because we don't have to tie our identity up in the rightness of our story when we understand that it is, in fact, just a story. It is. The things that we think are like unassailable truth are just a story that our brain has constructed to make sense for us out of all of our experiences and the facts and the data that we're bringing in. So I think that's something really important to keep in mind, and it can help. I'm telling a story right now. When you find yourself being rigid, when you're having difficulty with the patients, what's the story? What's the story I'm telling right now? Is this the story I want to tell? And am I co-creating this story with others? Or is it completely in isolation? Am I in a silo here? Am I where I want to be with this? Does this story support connection? Or does it move me further away from connection and right relationship and the way that I want to be with others? So that's a little idea on cultivating a little patience and flexibility in thinking.